Seth Rollins and CM Punk are going at it in a one-on-one match on Monday Night Raw of Netflix in the main event. And as Punk with the upper hand, he will nail not only one GTS to drop Rollins, but two devastating GTS go to sleep. Rollins was done, and it will allow CM Punk to pick up the win on the first Raw of Netflix. You know, Rollins has got to be just a little bit bitter after this victory with all the fire and energy and rage he brought here to the table tonight against CM Punk. And Rollins shows his frustration as he limps out of the arena with that angry look on Rollins' face as he would show it to the crowd. Now that I've closed that chapter with Seth freaking Rollins, it's time for CM Punk to check the checklist for his WrestleMania path. And as that starts with the Royal Rumble, I am winning the Royal Rumble because I officially declare that I am entering the Royal Rumble. And that is the next chapter for CM Punk to go to Royal Rumble. Well, if it isn't the biggest loser of all time, CM Punk. Well, I can't wait to slap the taste out your mouth finally at the Royal Rumble. Well, Seth, you talk a big game, but the fact of the matter is, it's gonna come down to me and you, and you're gonna lose the Royal Rumble and be dropped by me once again. Nah. I don't think it's gonna go down like that this time, Punk, because I'm ready. I know all of your moves, and I'm ready to nail you with a stomp. Well, I guess there's nothing left to say, but may the best man win. And I'm sure I will be the better man that night. And as Rollins walks away, he makes his point and his statement. But as Royal Rumble's fastly approaching, later on that night, McIntyre and CM Punk will go in a heated war, running it back for the one time. And McIntyre was on top of Punk, just beating down and mounting Punk with the punches. And as McIntyre would eventually destroy Punk with a nail to the back, a forearm to the back, and he would pick up Punk and nail a power bomb, dropping him to try to pick up the win. But no, Punk will stay in this match. The various precarious CM Punk still stays in it, but McIntyre eventually tries to set up for the Claymore, but he would miss, and that was his fatal mistake, as Punk would evade it and lift up McIntyre above and nail a GTS go to sleep to knock out McIntyre. CM Punk has the win in his hands, but he stops the cover because of a very interested person. That distraction allows McIntyre to nail Punk with a Future Shock DDT, and he gets Punk up and nails a Claymore for McIntyre to pick up the win. Thanks to Rollins, McIntyre wins the match. Rollins has just cost Punk, and what fumes is this gonna light as CM Punk continues on? Next week on Monday Night Raw, Rollins is in the same predicament as CM Punk as he goes one-on-one with the Judgment Day Prince, Finn Balor, and Rollins is in control for the matter of the moment, but eventually Balor will come back. But as Rollins will stay on the move for as of right now, he would nail a knee to the face of Balor, and he was in control for the moment. But as Rollins will nail that comeback to try to take down the Prince as much as he can, Balor could resist and fight it, and he catches Rollins out of nowhere with a 1916 DDT, and Balor follows it up, running to the top and nailing the Kuna Gras, putting the final nail in the coffin against Rollins to pick up the win. Rollins has just been handed a loss, and it's not even with CM Punk's involvement. He just loses on his own. Fair and square, Balor picks up the win, and you know this has to leave a bad taste in the mouth of Rollins. As Punk is strolling backstage, heading out to his match, he runs into Rollins, who is throwing a fit in a corner backstage. And Punk just stares at Rollins until he realizes Punk is looking, and he says, "It doesn't feel so good being on the other end of the stick, now does it, Seth?" You did know this gets under the skin of Rollins as he starts berating and yelling at Punk. But Punk doesn't expect a Claymore in his near future was McIntyre, who drops him backstage just as he's about to walk through the curtain. You really thought you could outsmart me, didn't you, Punk? You thought you were better than me, but no, I've just beaten you now, twice, and you gotta step up your game. Punk takes down Kofi with a clothesline, and as Punk is wearing down Kofi Kingston, he would nail an exploder to Kofi of the New Day. And as Kofi and Xavier have been receiving boos ever since berating their friend Big E, Punk would nail a super kick to try to teach them a lesson. And as Punk has him up, he nails Kofi with a GTS, and Punk easily picks up the win, making a statement, an example out of Kofi Kingston. But somebody who's very upset by this is Seth Rollins, who is looking on the screen, and he gets visibly upset. As we will finally make it to Royal Rumble, these two cannot wait to go at one another, and Rollins delivering those strikes. It's down to the final two, CM Punk and Seth Rollins, like Punk predicted. And as Punk would nail a roundhouse kick to Rollins, Rollins would slowly make it back to his feet, but Punk was not done, unleashing an assault on Rollins. He would nail a pile driver, planting the Visionary. That means these two do not give a crap about each other whatsoever. And as Punk would try to nail Rollins with a pedigree, maybe Rollins would counter and nail a clothesline, dropping the best in the world. And now it was Rollins on the move with the combo and maneuvers, taking down Punk with a sling blade. And Rollins was fired up more than ever. He's getting exactly what he wanted out of this, but that distraction allows Punk to lift him up. But Rollins predicted that Punk was trying to go for the GTS, and he gets out and he nails a pedigree, or tries to, as Punk would counter and nail that same clothesline that Rollins nailed to him. And as Punk would lift up Rollins, finally in position, he wouldn't try to nail a GTS, but Rollins would counter, but Punk would go for it anyway, nailing that GTS. Rollins could not fight it for too long, and Punk's just gotta toss him out. He picks him up and tosses him, but Rollins hangs on by a miracle, by a thread, and now Rollins will still fight back, but Punk fights back even more and pushes him out. Rollins is eliminated, and Punk beats him again in the Royal Rumble, and he's going to WrestleMania to face a champion of his choosing. And the fans could not be happier that Punk picks up the win, but somebody who's never happy, Seth Rollins, and he finally snaps. Rollins finally has snapped, and he sees red as he beats down CM Punk with the mounted punches, and he's not letting up on Punk. He tosses him into the corner and puts him on the ground and nails a diving stomp to CM Punk to take him down. Rollins is angry, and it finally boils over as he would walk away. But now the rivalry between these two is just getting started. Seth, you sorry son of a... You really thought you were beating me down? You really thought you did something? Yeah, it's usual casual Seth. Every time he loses, he throws childish temper tantrums, and he wants to get angry and say he blacks out. Well, you know that's bull, Seth. You don't black out. You know exactly what you do, and you're gonna... burn it down! Well, if it isn't CM Loser Punk. Whoa, man. You just look so weird standing there. No, Seth. I don't have time for this. Me and you need to settle this one-on-one. I know. Me and you will have a one-on-one next week on Monday Night Raw. That's exactly what I came for. And hopefully you will think twice before trying to embarrass me this time. CM Punk. But now, here we go. Rollins and Punk one-on-one this week on Monday Night Raw tonight. Rollins making his way to the ring. Oh, wait a minute. CM Punk nails Rollins with a kendo stick and taking him off the apron as he's making his entrance. And as Punk will wear down Rollins with that stick, Punk was already hating Rollins. He's fuming with anger against Rollins, and he would nail a knee to the gut of Rollins as he would get the action into the ring and an elbow drop to follow it up. And as Punk was on the move, he would nail that knee and that clothesline combo to take down the Visionary. And Punk was even more fired up now. And as he already lifts up Rollins looking to nail a GTS, but Rollins would counter immediately. Punk would not be able to put him away that quick. And as Rollins would get in control now, delivering that discus forearm to the face of Punk and lifting him up and nailing that small package driver to CM Punk in this no disqualifications match. Everything goes, and Punk would catch that super kick from Rollins, and Punk would try to nail a kick, but Rollins would catch Punk's as well, and he would nail that visionary forearm to the back of the neck of Punk, and then he would just continue the assault, nailing those kicks to the face of the best in the world. And Rollins was fired up and feeding off the energy of the WWE Universe, and as he would set Punk in a precarious position on the top, he would nail an avalanche German suplex to CM Punk, and Rollins was really in control. He picks up Punk and nails those forearms and strikes, and he would set him up for a pedigree that he connects. Is it enough to put away Punk? 1, 2, but Punk kicks out and stays in this match still. And Rollins is a little frustrated, but he tries to follow it up with a stop, but Punk catches him with an RKO, showing tribute to Randy Orton, one of his friends, and he will pick him up and nail a pile driver to the Visionary. Rollins is in a lot of trouble right now, and Punk is really on the move. He runs and harries to the top, and he's setting up Rollins for that diving elbow drop to Rollins. And now Punk is looking to finish him for good. He has him in position for a GTS, but can he execute the final nail in the coffin? No. Rollins countering still, and now Rollins will come back into this match with those forearms and a sling blade combination, taking down the best in the world. And as he will pick him up immediately, he picks him up and nails him with that buckle bomb in the corner to CM Punk, and he runs and harries and tries to follow it up with a stomp, and he connects it to put away Punk finally, but Punk rolls out. But what Punk doesn't realize is someone is waiting for him, which is Drew McIntyre, who's taunting him to get up to nail that Claymore, boom, right to the face of CM Punk. McIntyre getting involved, helping Rollins, and he picks him up, and now he tosses him back into the ring, feeding him to Rollins to get the win. McIntyre has just saved Rollins' butt, and as Rollins will set up the table, he puts Punk on the table, and he will grab him and lift him over his head and nail a power bomb through the table. But he knows it's going to take more than that. He follows it up with a devastating curb stomp into the mat against CM Punk, and Rollins goes for the cover to pick up the win. Rollins, in his hard-fought match against CM Punk, picks up the win, but at what cost, and what is next in Rollins' future? We don't know, but we quickly find out. Alright, I'm gonna come out here and be honest with y'all. I really don't know what's next for the OTC. I didn't win the Royal Rumble. CM Punk is going to WrestleMania. So I'm looking to find my path, my road to WrestleMania because I will be there no matter what. Whatever I have to do, I will do it to make it there. Well. Looks like you just found. Not expected, and as Owens would pick him up, he would toss him back into the ring and feeding him to a very interesting person as Owens would show off, taunt the crowd. Then Owens would just walk away, leaving this match. But the person in the ring awaiting Reigns is McIntyre with a Claymore to drop Roman Reigns. It seemed like this was a part of McIntyre and Owens' plan to help Rollins win this match. And as Rollins gets back in, he nails a stop to Reigns. It's just like that. Rollins would pick up the win against Reigns. It's another upsetting victory for the crowd. They are really upset and angered that Rollins, Owens, and McIntyre just screwed Roman Reigns. And as Rollins would walk up to the ramp, he would stand side by side by Kevin Owens and McIntyre. And it's very clear that this is the new authority.